Morning. Call the Price County Highway Transportation Committee meeting to order. Would you take roll, please?
Good morning, Joe Borodka,
Here.
Doug Erickson,
Here.
Paula Hodak,
Here,
Larry Palachuk is absent, and Jordan Spacek.
Here.
Thank you.
actually Larry would be excused.
Larry's excused. Yep.
Sorry, he's excused.
Yeah, absent with an excuse. Public comment. Any public comment? Anybody online? Shirley in the back. Anything today? No.
Thank you for being here,
Okay.
Shirley.
Any communications from anybody?
I do got a question. I did talk to Roger about this and maybe get a little more clarification. As far as accident on our highways, who is in charge of cleaning that up?
That's a good question. I've always wondered that same thing.
I had somebody complain. I called Roger. Roger kind of heed and hawed to me because usually the towing company does clean it up. Usually, but if they don't, I guess is it the county's responsibility?
Well, we do it after a while, but ultimately, the towing company, whoever that's in the accident, they should be responsible for cleaning up. So same thing like they have petroleum spill or whatever. I mean, they're the ones that are supposed to mitigate the problem, not us, because we don't want liability of hazardous material having it. So,
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, when
People online want you to turn your mic on.
But do you want me to say that again? Okay, all right.
And the same individual called me back. Said, "Oh yeah, they picked up the bumper, this and that, but there's still glass there."
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, okay, I didn't call you again, but I guess if it's got to be cleaned up, it's got to be cleaned up well. I guess that's my.
Well, I guess to what point? I mean, do you pick up little? Do you go out there with a fine tooth comb and?
Yeah, I don't. But that he was correct. There is a lot of glass laying.
Oh, sure.
I don't know. I just just wanted clarification.
I guess I didn't. After they cleaned it up, I didn't go out and investigate to make sure it was super clean, but they were.
Doesn't normally the sheriff's department, if there's a road hazard, contact the highway then if it's not cleaned up correctly? I mean,
They should.
if it's on the shoulders, a different concern than if it's on the roadway.
Right, and this was not on the roadway. This was an eyesore.
Yeah.
This wasn't a hazard. It was an eyesore.
There's a lot of eyesores if you look past the ditch line.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we've had them complaints too, where a concrete company left concrete, but it was off the right of way, and they wanted us to pick it up. I'm like, it's not our responsibility. It's not on our property. We have.
Oh.
I understand you don't like looking at it, but we're not going to invest our resources and
Is this something that, like, I'm assuming there's some type of guidance, whether it's state law or what, there's an accident, because we could look, and don't quote me on this, but like, is there an ordinance where if there's an accident, the tow truck company is responsible and they can get a $50 fine if they don't sweep up? Or, I don't want to get there, but is it just educating the tow truck drivers, or is it, I don't know.
Yeah, because they're just going to pass the buck on too.
Right. That's
Right. They're there to clean up the scene. If it takes them extra half hour because they had to sweep, they're
going to
tow
charge
bill,
for it.
right? Something to think about.
Yeah.
I don't know what guidance is given by the state or state patrol or whoever. There's got to be something out there that has something.
Well, I guess I would be concerned about the highway pickup, that they would be, you have so many times, you have Boy Scouts, you have 4-H doing highway pickup, and maybe some families with young kids. I would hate to see them trying to pick up glass and such, but I don't know. I don't know where that goes, but those are good questions.
Well, and I think the concern is we don't want the tow truck driver to show up, pick up the car and drive away and expect the highway to show up every time there's a deer accident or
right.
That's the issue. I mean, I agree there are dangers of picking up road waste but we don't want to get to be the point where it's the tow truck drivers learn like, oh, I'll just walk away. I'll pick up the car and go.
And just touching on that, then, like a deer, does the sheriff's department, if there's a deer laying on the road, who is that? The sheriff's department will stop by and drag it off? What's the procedure there?
So the policy generally is, so if it's on the roadway and the sheriff's department is there, they'll drag it off to the shoulder. If it's on a state highway, then that's contracted to pick up. County policy is if it's a roadway hazard, we'll pick it up. Say if it's like in somebody's lawn, but we'll move it down somewhere and it's off the right of way, because we're not gonna contract with somebody to pick up deer all over the county, because that would be another expense we'd have to pay.
And a big one.
Right. You know.
Well,
and,
Veligas used to pick them up,
you know,
right? Man, that's what I thought.
and now when you pick up deer, they have to go, technically they're supposed to go to a designated area for disposal. You just can't, we can't take it, like, say, to the county pit and throw it off there. The DNR doesn't like
How
that.
about when we hit them with our own trucks?
Hopefully we,
Didn't
yeah.
they
Call the
used to do
DNR
that
and get
health
your
officer?
tag, and
Didn't
you
they
can do
used to
whatever
be a
you
health
want.
officer one
All
that
right,
time to
that's
pick 'em?
all I had.
Okay.
Don't kill tags. I believe
Might have been earlier, and I
Yeah.
think.
Okay, moving on. Number 2, minutes from the May 7th meeting. What's the pleasure?
We talked with Meredith. We made a couple changes on the minutes.
Okay.
I don't know if you need to tell them, I suppose.
Oh, yes. Okay, so under items for discussion, public comment, the second sentence that says Hodek offered to allow, we changed to Hodek stated she would contact the town chairman. And so just a little bit of rewording.
I would love to have that power to allow him to talk to me.
And then on number 13, department reports, letter A under commissioner, LRIP or LRIP should be capital. And those are the 2 changes I have.
So with that, I would make a motion to approve with the amendments,
Corrections.
changes, corrections. Thank you.
I would second that motion.
Okay. A motion and a second. Any other discussion? A vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3, resolution, the town of Worcester, Elk River Terrace Bridge and Culvert Aid request. That's in the packet.
So I did look at the site. The culvert is in dire need of being replaced.
Looking at the photos, it looked pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, so my recommendation would be for approval, should you.
I assume we'll have to do the guardrail work too. I mean, I assume we're gonna help do the work, or will they?
So talking with
contract that?
Neil would, from the town of Worcester would take care of the.
Oh, he would
guardrail
take care of
after,
it.
so,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. No, the total cost would be, the county responsibility would be 16,000 estimate, no more than 16,000.
Is there a need for, I guess, in there?
The guardrail?
Yeah, is it?
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's up to the town of Worcester.
Sure.
Should they want to eliminate the guardrail? I'm not gonna advise them one way or the other. That's their.
Okay.
With,
Is that out across Cookie Delasky's?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. Yep.
got it.
If I'm looking at the pictures correctly and. and
That's what it
remember
looks like.
The location. Cause in that one picture, just to the, I assume north of that is where the dam crosses,
Got
right
it.
there. It's just south of the dam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so with
We-
the,
And we would be doing the work.
with the county's responsibility, that the municipalities were just the pass-through, correct, on that? It's not out of your budget, just to clarify for
Correct.
the people online.
Yeah.
So it's a different levy. We pay all cash up front, and then the highway department receives the bill. We reimburse, or they pay all cash up front. We receive the bill. We reimburse in this case, up to 16,000, and then we put it on the next year's levy to collect it. So there's no cost to the highway. It doesn't take away from maintenance or other projects.
Right, and collect it from the participating municipalities that
Yep, there's
participate in the
18 of
program.
them,
Yep,
yeah.
okay.
It's not collected from all taxpayers. It's from those who participate in the program. So those who participate, we recommend you rotate and participate because you're paying for it, whether
Mm-hmm.
you use it or not.
I would make a motion, we approve.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All's in favor of the Town of Worcester Elk River Terrace Bridge and Culvert Aid request, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Termination of gravel and marl deposit reservation, number 4.
Yeah, so Carrie had contacted me on this. I don't know, it must have came from, well, the landowner. I don't know who they originally brought this forward to. But when I talked to Larry about this, he thought, you know, what happened in the past is if the county had gotten land back on back taxes, this is something that they would do. They would take the rights to any gravel or any material. When I looked at the location of it, I don't see any need for the county to have any rights to the material or anything on their property. I mean, it wouldn't be no use to the county.
Sure.
So you need a motion to terminate it or to?
I see there is, I guess I don't even know who would sign this, would this be myself or?
No, the
Yeah.
clerk.
The clerk?
Clerk would sign it as our land person, yeah.
Okay.
So that, and I didn't look historically what we've done with these, but
I feel like we did this one other time.
yeah, I know we've done it
um,
before.
about probably
Or a
probably
couple
3 years ago, I'm gonna guess.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I remember one other time. Trying to think of.
Do you
where.
remember if it was a resolution when we did it the last time? No, that was the only question I didn't look up.
I don't recall if it was or not.
Who's it for too?
There was one out here on D,
Yep.
right by the bridge. Just before the bridge. I forget the name of that person there. I don't have my Onyx with me. Maybe Nick can look it up. And then there was another one down in the town of, I believe it was Ogama,
Yeah.
down right at the county line off of, I believe it was.
Yeah. I don't remember. a
So I
resolution.
guess how I'd move forward with this is if you see no issues, I would motion to move forward with the process. And the process may be just having Meredith sign it and file the deed. There may be a resolution at the next one. I don't think there's a hurry with this. There was no indication of like, oh my gosh, we're trying to do something with it. But I guess it was more of if you guys are on board, you can motion you agree with the termination of the gravel and marl rights. And then we'll figure out if it needs to be a resolution or just a signature from.
And if there's any cost associated with this, would all go to the landowner?
Yeah, I think so from what Carrie's saying is the landowner brought it forward. They have the original paperwork, and he wants to sell the property. So that's what this is coming out of.
Sure.
The only cost I could see would be filing the updated deed, which is
Right.
$30 or $35.
In the past,
And
I know
landowner.
that for sure that all costs associated were the responsibility of the
Yeah.
petitioner.
Yep. And the landowner has agreed to pay, is what this is saying.
Okay.
Well, I'll make that motion that we move forward with the termination of gravel and marl.
Perfect. And then if, like I said, if it's just sign it and send it and have them pay, great. If it's a resolution so the whole board sees it, we'll have to look into what we did.
I'd
Years
second
ago.
that motion.
Sounds good. Bless you.
Bless you.
I got a motion and a second to move forward with the termination of the gravel and marl deposit reservation. Any other discussion? Hearing none, vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Construction updates.
Okay.
Roger?
So all the county roads have been, so we added a gravel lifts in areas. All RR and C got a gravel lift on on those. It's been pulverized. We've been getting very minimal complaints. The only complaint we got is on D. Every once in a while that gets rough, but everybody's very happy is what's going on. There's a guy that stopped and said on RR and said the road is actually rides better being gravel now than it did previously.
So we can leave it?
No, yeah, yeah.
Motion carried. No, I'm just kidding.
We actually put about 400 feet of curb on RR in some of the hilly areas. So they're finishing up a stretch today. So we have a couple of our guys and a couple hired contractors working together to get those areas done. We're set to start paving hopefully by the end of the month. If everything goes well. So, no, everything's looking good.
And did we end up doing all of the projects? I know when we originally discussed back when bids came out, if the funds weren't there fully, we were gonna
Hold back
hold back on something.
Yep, no,
But-
we had enough
Okay.
funds for
Okay.
everything, so everything is,
Okay.
everything we planned is in gravel right now.
Okay.
They're expecting to have everything done, everything paved in a matter of about 3 weeks is what they're anticipating.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as pulverizing, everything went extremely well. There was no overages on the pulverizing.
Well, that's
Gravel, we
nice.
went over a little bit on material, but not bad. County Highway O Bridge, they just started that on Monday. There's 65 working days on that bridge. So it's gonna be, completion date is November 17th.
Okay.
But it's gonna be out for a while, but it is a 110-foot bridge, so there's 2 piers in there. Removing the old bridge, piling new piers, so it's gonna be a process. It's gonna take some time, but well needed. State highway projects, as you can see out here in Phillips, they're kind of getting towards the end of it, but they do have some curb you have to replace. Once they get the asphalt up to finish height, then they'll be working on the guardrail and on the edges down here.
So that'll all be new guardrail then?
It'll all be new guardrail, yeah. But generally they wait till they get the finished grade on the blacktop so they can set the guardrail to the exact height.
Sure.
13, they're just finishing up shouldering to the north. And then after that, in a few weeks, though, they are putting 3 crossings for snowmobile. So they'll do the Elasto Merrick on those areas. It was good. Brian Roush called me yesterday, which I didn't know the snowmobile crossing did change about 3 years ago to the north of Maple Grove.
Oh,
So, but we did get that in there. I did call Jim Peck and that's gonna get moved up, so to the correct area. Because when the state puts their plans out, they probably started it 4 years ago and that's where the snowmobile crossing was.
Sure.
But now it got moved, so, but yeah, so that is a good thing Brian called me. 111, that did start on Monday, so that they did saw cutting, erosion control measures are in place. I did receive this morning the notice to proceed on 111, so I would assume today they'd start putting culverts in.
they're starting right by 3 Mile right now. They
Okay.
were peeling blacktop when I came in.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're expecting 12 days for culvert replacements. There's
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Mustin's doing the culvert replacement, and I think is what George from Pitlick and Wick said. So Pitlick and Wick is doing that. They set up their plant down here by the concrete plant. 102, tomorrow there's a meeting on that. There's no notice to proceed. I don't have a start date for 102 yet. Talking to Matt Esslinger, it sounds like they ain't gonna start that till they get our county work done, which is good. Yeah, I'd rather.
But
see
that will happen yet this year.
Correct. Yep. So there is going to be a little dirt work to be had, down by Spirit Lake. There's going to be a little. They're going to try and fix the one issue where on Moore's Bar where it comes down on the road, and we have drainage issues there.
And 102 is the whole way?
From 86 to Taylor County line,
Okay.
Where is the county line?
right past the bridge a little ways,
That's the.
past Moore's Bar. Yeah,
Okay.
I think as you
Okay.
come around that curve, it's
I thought it was up farther. I didn't realize the way you go down in.
no.
Okay.
One other update with the 13, I've been going to the city meetings for the sidewalks. They did motion or vote to continue the project to attempt to get it done this year. So their engineer was working on it. They were going to come to the meeting, I think yesterday, with the engineered plans to do the RFP. They believe they'll get bids to do it in that October time. And the engineer said they can do it all the way till snow flies. So they got time. Not that it's the best way to do it, but because I see shaking of heads. But the goal is to have it all done this year. They talked about, like, for material, their estimated cost was $10 per square foot, and then with engineering and all the labor, it was about another 10 on that. So about $20 a square foot. We have between 200 and 220 feet. And then you multiply that by 5 because it's 5 feet wide is what the responsibility of the landowner is. So we're looking at between $15,000 and $20,000 bill on that. It'll be due 2027 because the way they bill out that project is it goes on your 2027 tax bill. We don't get taxes, but that's when the billing process happens. They did decide to remove the step as much as possible. So there will be a small stretch, I believe, on the south end where there is a step. There's not enough room to get rid of it. So there'll be a slight area with a step, but the remaining will be a 5-foot walking path. And then it'll be from the farthest building out is where the 5-foot starts. So some will have a 6 or whatever if it goes up to the building. And from the 5th foot all the way to the curb, which it ranges between 1 and 3 feet, it'll be a slight grade, no more than 4% or between 2 and 4%, I think is what they averaged, which is ADA compliant. It'll also be a different color. So if you've been to Sturgeon Bay, Milwaukee does it a lot. It's just, it's like decorative, but you can tell when you're walking on it, oh, it's a little lower, but it's where people put plants or things like that. It's not there was concern that it was going to be real heavy grade. And then it's like, oh, as soon as snow comes, everybody be slipping under your cars and out into the road. That's not what the level of grade. They said no more than a driveway. What like or an entrance across the sidewalk would be. So that supposedly will be bid out and still done this year.
Oh, but will we have to pay anything because
Yes.
you?
Very much left of that 5 foot down.
No,
there, is
that's.
We paid the 5 foot.
there? Oh, you pay that 5 foot.
Yeah,
I thought
everything
the
else.
state paid the first 5 feet.
No, it's not the state, the city.
Yeah, I know, but the city pays the
No,
first.
the landowner is responsible for 5 feet by the width of your property.
Oh.
Everything outside of that, they can't put on as a special assessment.
Oh,
So they're responsible for anything
Okay.
outside of that.
because I thought there was talks at one point that they cover.
I think there
a
was,
certain
there was
amount.
a confusion that it was the opposite, where it's
Okay.
like, we'll pay for 5 feet by the length of your property and you're responsible for the rest. That's not what it is. So
Okay.
what it is they try to be equitable. So it's 5 feet wide, everybody's paying. Where if you look at Birchland, it's 9 to 10, 11 feet
Sure.
wide because they did it right up to their building, which is
Yeah.
set back a little bit. So Birchland's responsible for 5 feet.
Sure. Okay.
And it's a straight path. It won't be like wiggled back and forth the 5 feet. It's they survey the farthest building forward and use that as the straight line. Because
Sure.
otherwise you'd be moving back and forth.
Yeah, because some of the stuff that they're doing out here is not straight. But we'll move on. Any other updates on state stuff?
No, that'll cover everything that we got going on.
Park Falls is getting the same
Oh yeah, there's
fill up or like thing we're doing here with the milling and everything too as well, or?
Yes, milling, but not quite to the full depth is what they did out here.
Okay. And
So
was this
they're just-
originally going to be the full depth, but or was it just that bad that they ended up going?
No,
Full depth.
originally it was a full depth.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
No, Park Falls is quite a bit minor than what, there's just, a few curb repairs here and there. It's not a full curb
Sure.
replacement like it
Okay.
is in.
Well, it'll be really nice come October when it's all done. Lots of new areas
Roger's phone will quit.
in the
ringing
county.
finally.
Yep. Okay, moving on. Number 6, County W spill update. Anything there, Roger?
The only thing we're waiting on now is, so there's a few landowners that didn't sign any agreements for coming on their property for, soil testing. So now the DNR is involved. So now it's between the DNR and the landowners, whether or not, to fight it. Cause ultimately at this point now, they're still trying to find the area.
The source?
The source and how far the contamination goes. So if it goes on, and which I guess if I was a property owner, I won't want to pay for what's going, if I'm the source of it, but
Yeah.
ultimately that's what we got to find on it. So,
They
I
will
haven't
fi-
heard anything in about a month now, so.
They will find it. Equipment fund.
Yeah, so I did also share again my wish list coming up, just to reiterate that there is the need. And I don't know what the direction is moving forward to, replace our equipment. I just know there's talks on budget. So we have another, we did the truck that we buy out of our regular fund. We borrow for another truck. But we also have some other items that,
Yeah, Carrie and I are meeting this afternoon to discuss the whole county capital improvement equipment and everything. And I'm glad he put it as a wish list and not a, oh my gosh, we need it list. And we know that. We're working with them.
Paul, you want to fix the grammatical error or do you want me to? The triaxle is AXLE.
I didn't type it out.
I know.
so.
Let's just add that to the spell check.
Yeah, so we'll be working on the lists here in the next couple weeks with
Yeah.
where we're at. We had a department meeting. We've had it at executive where this year is going to be a tighter year, and with the general guidance of let's not try to make more debt, which would alleviate some of that increase. It's going to be tough to just make the regular operations, much less do a lot of the. They're not wish. It's the needs of the department.
It is a need. I mean, I try to use it politely as the word of a wish list, but so, we are getting one plow truck, but there is the need for the additional plow truck for borrowing. I mean,
Yeah, that one I'm not so worried about. That's kind of been the new staple. The second plow truck, that's not the issue. I think it's more the yellow equipment or construction equipment that we're going from 0 to 100 on it. We borrowed money last year to do the grader and we got the boom tractor out of it. I think we're going to have to look at more of like an every other year and borrow half of it and just build up to it, unless the board wants to increase debt again. That's what it's going to come down to, is what's the appetite to continue to increase the levy based on debt. If it's half as much as doing it every year, that still gets us somewhere, right? It's something better than nothing. But that's where it's all going to come down to.
As part of this discussion too, Roger, would it be possible, because I was just curious, now that we're doing long line road paving, so basically taking a road and doing it, which is a really good idea like that. Is it possible for you, in the past, we were able to get a Pacer, a Whistler map that showed the ratings of each road? Are you able to produce that map so we can see where we're at in the progress of our capital improvement paving? Is there room there to wiggle something to get equipment? I'm just looking at the whole picture. Would you be able to do that?
I could. And it might have been before we were on, and I had discussion. I mean, at the rate we're going at 15 miles a year, which is a very good rate. I mean, I don't think we could take on any more. But it would be 2030 before we get in good shape where we're not, we're not driving on roads that have ruts this deep on them,
Yeah.
you know? So I mean,
And I totally understand that, but looking at that map, we can get an idea of what our roads overall are looking at as
Mhm.
far as, serviceability, as far as what traffic we have on them. You know, if obviously, a county D, a county H, a county W, sections of county F have a lot more traffic than some other ones. Not saying
Right.
that we should ignore other ones, but what I'm saying is if we're looking at being tighter, like Nick is telling us, getting a whole picture of where we're at with those ratings and conditions of our roads. So are they a 2 or a 3 where they're falling apart and like you say, they got ruts 4 inches deep, or are they 5 and 6s where we're at the maintenance stage and we've done chip seals and we can hold them off a little bit? I'm not saying that's what we do. I'm just saying to get the big picture as
Sure.
far as equipment and roads, it'd be nice to have that visual, I guess.
Right. In the,
And not so much for us as much as for the rest of the board, that isn't involved with this. To
Sure.
see that, to kind of, and I don't want to say sell it, but it is
Yeah.
selling it. It's saying, hey, we have a need here.
right. We have a target and say we use 2030. That was the goal. That's where we're headed. If by changing a little bit, taking 100,000 out of the doing the paving and putting it towards equipment, because equipment's needed to do this, does that make it 2032? Does that do 2031 to hit that same goal? Those are the questions that board's got to decide. Is it to push it back? Is it to do the equipment? There's a lot of factors. And like you said, the more data we have, it's
In the visual for
easier to
for
make those tough
the rest
decisions.
of the board too, that sometimes doesn't totally understand the whole concept of it where we're at. It's helpful. Just want to throw that out there. Like I said, we may be on the track that we got to do exactly what we're doing. Not saying we go one way or the other, just having that information. So, thanks.
so the other thing that I want to talk about the plow trucks are, getting the trucks, the chassis themselves isn't too bad right now. So they're generally about 3 months out, but it's the body builds. Now that it was 300 days before you got the truck back, and now we're getting towards 400 days before we get the trucks back. So I mean, it's over a year before we get the trucks, and then I've discussed this with Nick as well. It's like, okay, so now we buy the trucks, we borrow the money, but now we're not right.
At
Well,
what-
even
at what point
even when
can't we hire some, I mean, I know there's stuff that not our guys can't do, but at what point?
they did, I know they did do it in-house, but okay, so our maintenance staff now,
Is maxed.
right, I
Yeah.
mean, to keep up with what we are now, if we're gonna try to start talking about building our own
Yeah.
trucks again,
Would we save money by doing our own though?
I don't know,
It's time. I think that the issue is time.
Sure.
So we just have to build that into the purchasing and at least we're purchasing them and making
Right.
sure every 400 days we're getting the 2 new trucks. It's more of, I think, a frustration. What do? You can't force them to build it any faster. But as long as we keep buying them and don't go, oh, we haven't received them yet, don't buy the next ones. The goal should be always buy the 2 at X date every year, whether it takes 200 days or 300 days or 400 days to get them back. We know we purchased them. So there's always a flow of the trucks. How do we make it come faster? Is it doing it in-house? I don't know if that's of value. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably in the bid spec put a timeline on it, but it's at the end,
You're going to pay for it. Yeah.
you know.
It's a frustration more than oh crap, we're not going to have a truck.
Right. And you know, it'd be nice if we knew, you know, we gotta wait for the county board to approve our budget and our spending. So I mean, it's not like we can pre-order and get things out ahead of time, which would be ideal.
Yeah.
We could start.
And that's where it's like, we just know, okay, budget's approved that September, November time. Every November, we have to make sure that 2 are ordered.
Yeah.
And it's like moving it up 2 months is 60 days. We got a 400-day problem, not a
Yeah.
60-day problem.
So how many trucks do we have out there right now
Being built.
being built?
Two,
Just 2?
and I guess
We have two that should come this fall,
hopefully.
and
Yep.
two that won't get next
So-
fall, so technically four then?
So we have two being built right now. So then we haven't even started the process on the next two yet.
Okay.
Because we have to wait for the budget, right? So we have to wait for the approval. And then, you know, so then on, like I said, what they're foreshadowing, the next two trucks is gonna be 400 days from the time they receive.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think they need to hire some more guys.
Start a company, Jordan.
Yeah, yeah.
Start building trucks,
Doesn't sound like a bad gig right now.
you know.
Actually, there is a guy by Oklahoma that wants to do that.
Yeah.
He's gotta be price competitive though as well, so.
Yeah.
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 How much is it better for us to be buying two at a time? Not replacement, but like we know we have one that comes out of the fund every year. Could we buy that one in February and buy the other one in November?
Yeah, can't that one go ahead?
Or is there just
So
a better
it's-
discount to buy two at a time?
I could have that conversation with Dan, I guess, I don't know, but.
But I mean, we know we budget, I mean, it's on the list every year.
Right.
Yeah.
If we just said the one that comes
So-
out of the fund gets ordered every March and the one that comes from the budget, if it gets approved, is ordered every November. And then you're always doing two.
Right,
It's you're staggering them then and
Yeah.
getting them.
So with that 400 days, kind of what you're looking at, Rogers, by the time you're able to order them in November, we're into January, February of the following year to get them.
correct.
So if you could back that up by ordering them in June, July, we would end up getting them before the following winter.
Correct.
Is there a way to do that, Nick? Similar to the way we do capital improvement roads where the board approves the funding and then does the
Yeah, I mean,
budgetary idea, or the budgetary approval?
so
in the next budget?
traditionally the board is not, and this is not normal government. Traditionally, the board does not strap a future board with expenses, right? Your operational is always going to change, but as far as debt or things like that, the current board has, in my 14 years, has always been conscious about saying this is every year a board needs to make the decision. You could change the resolution just saying we are guaranteeing highway one truck every July to use debt that will be put in the future budget, and it's a forced that it's forced. You'd have no choice you'd have choices, but as a board approving the next budget, it's just automatically in there. That would be the difference.
Yeah,
right?
and I agree with you. I don't like the fact of approving debt and not approving the funding at the same time.
But you could
but
do that in the
Times are
resolution.
changing
Yeah.
to where if it's just one truck would
Right.
help. Just something to have conversation with, maybe something executive should kick around to see what they're thinking on it. But like I says, times are changing, and when you don't get your truck until February, March of the next year, you're basically through a year of what we
Patch
need.
the old one for all season.
You threw away what we actually need it for a whole year, which is
Right.
snow plowing.
Yeah.
That's what we need them for.
It
so.
extends the life on the back end though, right? Yep, you didn't get it for that season. We
Yeah.
always know we
Yeah.
get them in February or January. It's too late, but it's ready for the next one in the next 9 years is the goal. So I get it. We're trying to get it as soon as possible, but it's not like we're not getting them.
Right.
We are getting them. We're going to get to use them. It's just not, it'd
yeah.
be nice to have them for that season. We don't have them for that
And I
season.
guess the nicety is, and I think Roger's thinking maybe the way I am, because I sat in that seat. Am I going to have a truck breakdown that I can't plow that next road?
Yeah.
It's not so much a nicety as it is we're required to provide a service, and if we're at a point where we're trying to catch up. that
And
might
are we
call for
at
some
that? Right.
Different measures. So
We've done a
just
lot.
thought.
Yeah, we've done a lot with trucks over the last year. Are we
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point where we used to have that stress level of,
Yeah.
man, these are old, now.
Is it
if we
used
get
to,
in-
or is it still there, Roger? Let's ask the guy
Has
sitting
it-
in the chair.
Has it gotten better?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say it hasn't gotten better, but I mean, we still have old trucks. I mean, you look through there, you can see through the box, you
Yeah.
know?
Like every other county. We're not unique. I will, let's let the people know we're not unique in the starving for trucks. It's a statewide issue. It's not a us issue.
Good discussion. I didn't have my mic on.
So do we need to approve the? No?
Just a good discussion. Like I said,
Okay.
we'll have more coming forward when we.
Question, we did receive the tractor, one more.
Yes, so yeah, I was gonna bring that up later during the shop thing, but,
Okay, number 8, airport property along Elk Lake Drive.
you know, so, the Gingers, Greg Ginger came in my office and had discussion about, this is the property adjacent to his property, which we cut trees, cause it hadn't been maintained for a while.
Yep.
And we cut the trees, we mowed it, and you know, he was a little upset, but I had discussions with him, and so he came forward to me, and we don't maintain the property to his standards, I guess, is what it comes down to. He would like to see it a little bit better. You know, he'd like, and a part of it too is like, so the driveway, or I wouldn't say it's part of his driveway, but it's more an access road, an easement to get to his.
Just for clarification, is that where the berm was put in?
Correct.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
And mode.
Oh,
The
and mo-
berm was there as his request originally. So, I mean,
Sound barrier, correct?
correct.
Okay. Hopefully.
So yeah, it's a total of 16 acres,
Okay.
and he would just like, he would like to actually maintain it, mow it himself, because, you know, right now we mow it once or twice a year is about all we're gonna mow it. He'd like to mow it a little bit better, you know, along the edge of the access road. The access road is down kind of towards the south of the property, right there.
Right
Yep.
there, yeah.
So that's his easement coming into his driveways there. And I mean, we don't maintain it, and I really don't want to send guys there neither to grade it, but he does. And, you know, part of this is we're allowing him to maintain that roadway going through there. We wouldn't have to maintain it. He's asking to mow along the snowmobile trail, for walking, and generally just putting some other walking paths in there on the property. Planting wildflowers, things like that. It is part of his wish list that I put on this, adopt a airport section. Is kind of what I don't know, which we could change the wording of it, but it's
So is that county land, or that's not his?
It is county land.
It is county land.
Used to be his though.
yep.
Used to be his,
Taken over
Yep.
when
when the berm was put in?
with
The
ru-
airport
with the
expansion,
airport
there's an
Expansion, got
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
So It was
Okay.
formerly their his wife's family property.
Right.
Yes.
I remember all of that. I just didn't remember where it was going. So what kind of questions for liability would there be?
So it does state on the top of that, what, liabilities, who's liable for what. We're not liable for if he's using his equipment, he damages his equipment. If he falls in a hole and twists his ankle, we're not liable.
And that would hold true. I mean, I always get nervous with,
And so I didn't have Megan
can
look
they
at
come
this,
back?
but I would have Megan go
Okay.
over it too before. I mean, if there's anything she wanted to add on the corporate council side. I had discussion with Larry about this too. Larry's thoughts were at first he didn't like it just because prior dealings with them.
Mhm.
But then he's like, well, I don't, at the end, he didn't really have a concern either way.
Does this somewhat copy our state highway adopt a highway?
Yeah. So, and
Rules, I mean, the same.
yeah, pretty much. So, and like the government, they do kind of the same thing. There's areas that, they look for volunteers and people to do all kinds of work on their property all the time.
Well, it saves us from maintaining a large area.
Yeah,
'cause
it's 16
I agree with you on that.
Greg was a former, Greg and Betsy were a former customer of mine when I did lawn care, and very nice people.
Mhm.
And they like things neat and
Pristine,
tidy,
yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And I guarantee you, he's gonna do what he can to make this area look very nice, and to keep it up. And
When I read through this, I thought that's a great idea. Like you said, and there are people who enjoy doing that and other people could care less. So
I don't have an issue.
So
with it.
what, do you need approval A motion? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I guess,
It,
you know,
it would be in the line of like motion to allow this property to use this program.
Yeah.
So we would want a motion to adopt this program.
But I think you would need legal to fully go through it, correct?
yes,
Yeah.
I would have legal
Yes.
So I
go
think
through
we
it.
need direction for, a motion for legal to review it fully.
Clean it
and
up,
then
yeah.
clean it up and then go.
And doesn't
and
it
then
need
move
to
forward.
come back to us as a line item rather than just part of
Yeah,
this report?
we'll clean, if we know there's a direction that there's an acceptance and want to do this.
Right.
Or a want, that
Yeah.
not accept, you're not accepting anything today, but a
Yep.
want to do this,
Yeah.
then we'll move forward with getting more details and more specific language, contract language. This has been going on for a couple months now.
Yeah.
There was a much longer list of wants and back and forth. So this is what Roger and myself, and I talked to Brian a little bit about it, where we've narrowed it down to more a simplified version. I mean, at one point it was, I want to have an orchard out there and
Right,
all
yeah.
kinds of stuff. So it was,
Yeah.
you know, we, when Roger and I talked, we agreed that like, cool, I understand you're driving in, you want it clean by your driveway. Then it expanded to fine, if you want to keep going. But there are limitations to what this property should have on it, especially with the airport. And we didn't want to get into, well, these trees started small. and they're back
Right.
cutting stuff down and,
Yeah.
and making people angry, or
Right.
you know, it's not meant to be a public walking area. So like the trail thing, you think about that. I get it. It's a snowmobile trail, but is it all of a sudden there's a picnic area out there? We want to be careful on what level of
And
activity is on
yeah,
the property.
So my question would be, then I'm assuming that that property was purchased with AIP funds for the expansion.
Yeah, the BOA, AIP.
So do they have to sign off on any activity on that property? Second question would be what you brought up about the walking trail. Because it is governmental property, they put in a walking trail. Does that allow other people to use that walking trail?
It's a public property, so yeah.
So just so they understand that, if they make it nice, they may have the average citizen decide, I want to go take a walk on this
Right.
property.
There's no signs going up that this is no access.
Yeah,
no-
the other thing that would be a concern or just a question is the plum trees. Are we attracting, and I know it says to maintain undergrowth to resist bird nesting, but the plum trees are gonna be a fruit that's gonna attract birds. So are we creating a situation
And
there
deer.
where that's the flight path for 119? Are
Right.
we creating a problem there?
I talked to Carl. So I
Okay.
also talked from Carl and Becker Hoppy on this, and discussion with Carl. Carl didn't have any issues with that stuff, and that was his main concern, was just maintaining the undergrowth.
Mhm.
Because he said if there's no undergrowth for birds to stay there, it's not really going to attract them so much. There may be smaller birds that would come in and fly and maybe eat and take off, but the areas where he was at, he had no concern with that. And then I did talk to Greg about the snowmobile trail, and he does realize that that is a snowmobile trail. So it is in the winter time. He can't be like trying to kick snowmobiles off, or like.
Mhm.
He does understand that this is county property, and I iterated that, and it is in here at any time we can revoke this and pull them out and kick them off. If things we don't have a good working relationship, then this is done.
Yeah. Good,
So,
good. Thanks.
What happens when ownership of the land, does that come back to, they have to reapply?
they would have to reapply for because this contract would just be with
Just with-
whoever signs this
It's not,
contract.
not per land, it's per owner.
Correct. So it's not really an owner, it is the volunteers
The
that
volunteers.
decided to do this.
Okay.
It's not a property owner. It's not tied to his property.
Okay. I think it has merit. And like Jordan said, our guys don't have the time to maintain all of that.
And just to be clear, we're maintaining to the standard we need.
To the
It's
standard,
just
right.
not
But
what
if they
the
want it more
landowner-
pristine,
correct,
that's,
so
yeah,
We're maintaining the trees for flight path. We're maintaining,
Right.
Once a year we'll cut it, or once every, to keep the,
right. Just like the roadsides.
or whatever
Yeah.
it might be. So we need to be clear that we're doing what we need to be doing with the property. This volunteer,
Sure.
the owner
Yeah.
next door is asking to go above and beyond.
Okay. So we need a motion to,
Nah, just
Uh,
just guidance.
everybody's good with moving.
Yeah, just,
Have a legal
Getting
look
more
at it.
info- yeah.
Have a
Have a
Yeah.
legal look at
Okay.
it and bring it back for approval. Yep.
Okay, moving on, number 9, department reports.
Okay, I'll just kind of hit on the governor's budget a little bit. So the routine maintenance agreement, which we have with the state, there was a $30 million increase. This year, in the second year, 18.9 million. So how it's gonna work out for Price County, how much of our increase we're gonna get out of the RMA, I'm not quite sure yet, because $30 million over 72 counties, and Milwaukee and Dane County might take a good portion of that.
I mean,
We don't
28
get the
million.
same amount.
right.
So, but I mean, there is some light there. I mean, we might see something. The GTA, we did get a 3% increase. So I think on, what did we get? About 870,000 something. So I think it's an extra $40,000 for the highway department to utilize for roadways. LRIP-S, the governor did also, again, approve $100 million for that, which ultimately at the end, I think it's about 500,000 that Price County should get for road improvements. ARIP did come back again. That's $150 million. But the governor did set aside $30 million for the 6 to 20 structures. So there's 30, so that was that small structure, the inspection that's being done now, so like towns and stuff. So there is, they are doing something on the money that they spent on doing the inspections. STP rural and urban came out, so I'm gonna be starting on that. My anticipation was to put in this section of County Highway H that would be a good fit for Price County, going out and utilizing the lakes and everything. The FLAP grant, I'm still waiting on U.S. Forest Service out of Rhinelander to send back my application. On the airport, they've been mowing grass, and they had a few repairs on the fuel system that they had to do. The dams, all dams are doing good. Dave is actually helping us periodically, cutting grass and a few other things, so.
Airport, the other thing we're doing out there is the BFI project, which is getting everybody who used to get personal property bills back onto a tax bill, because personal property went away. With that, we thought it was going to be a little easier and just clean, but when we went out there to start getting the platting the buildings to put them on their own tax bill, we found that the airport plat, the certified map, and where all the hangars actually sit don't fit in property lines. They fit within the county property line, but they don't fit within the old surveyed property lines. So executive approved to spend $12,000 to resurvey all of the airport, which is money we had at the airport for engineering and projects. So we're resurveying all the hangars and getting an updated property, a survey map, which will go with Carl and get the airport plan updated to match that. So if a future hangar comes, there's updated plots left. Hopefully that's done here in the next couple weeks. Our goal is by January 1st to have all those BFIs in, which won't do anything until 2027, because it's your taxes that you'll get in January are actually for this year, which they're still in Price County's name. So we'll still have to bill all the hangars, but then in 2027, they'll each get an individual property tax based on their assessment. So it's been a project.
Headache.
And hopefully we get our new snow removal equipment for the airport this fall yet. I haven't heard anything from Cat yet, but it was anticipated to hopefully be here this fall.
It's been like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Snowplows are bad.
Yeah. You're
Well-
griping about 400 days for a truck.
Well,
Poor Mike over there's 4 years on a loader.
And we're missing a wheel on the tractor.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
we got that back on there.
Jeez.
Yeah, the at some point too, that tractor out there is
The versatile.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at replacing that. So it's getting, the nice thing with that is we really just need a tractor that can mow, that can pull the batwing, you know. So, and maybe a box scraper or something for that, but it doesn't have to be quite as what it is now. But so what's next? So the highway crew. So go ahead.
No, highway. I was just saying, you
Okay.
said what's next?
The completed ditching on C, and installed drain tile. When they were pulverizing, they actually had a spring in the water and started gurgling through the gravel. Like I said, we put 3-inch lift on 15 miles and pulverized, and we added an additional 3 to 4 inches in a few of the low areas where we had overtopping. They graded, rolled, did traffic control in front and behind the pulverizer. They changed 9 culverts on H in preparation for next year's project. Changed 3 failing culverts on I. Triple 36-inch pipes on D. Changed 2 48-inch culverts on Hamilton Road for the town of Lake. Changed 1 6-foot culvert by 50-foot for the town of Elk. Did some concrete repairs on a box culvert on State Highway 13, routed and sealed cracks on B North and E. Mowed all state and county highways. Trimmed around the guardrails. Boom mowing on 182 East and West Causeway. W Causeway. Shouldered A North. Paver patched on 70. Did the M Shaw new miner training. Installed curb, and they've been patching all over the place. Our summer help's been doing really well on patching.
With all the road construction, and we always emphasize, construction safety, workplace safety. Are we seeing any issues with drivers or workplace safety?
No, haven't had any complaints from any of the guys out there working at any traffic incidents. We have no. The only crash that one of our staff was involved in was out here on 13 when they moved all the barrels in super tight, and there's a truck with a rafter that came through. Which ultimately is kind of sucks because that driver of our truck that went on his record, even though it wasn't his fault,
Yeah.
And so I talked to Jim Peck about that as soon as we got the call, and I kind of got on him because they had I don't know if anybody else noticed when they first started the project, all the barrels, how
It was-
close they were.
It was.
It was
It,
bad.
I don't even think that's legal at how narrow it was.
It was
And how crooked and whatnot. That
yeah.
it was ridiculous. Yeah.
But yeah, I had a long conversation with Jim Peck about it. And that's when everything moved back out, because I think it was just the contractors trying to be cheap about everything and just pushing the barrels and pushing everybody to the middle and doing their work, and didn't have to have any flaggers or anything. So after that, it was everything was done under flagging operations.
I thought it was great the one day when I went through and about 40 barrels were knocked over. So somebody had some good fun one night. And yeah, so that was good and fun.
Roger,
Yes.
regarding concerns, did you rectify anything with Carlisle out on D? Nathan Carlisle with his concerns about that road going almost into his house?
Oh, yeah. So we did change out there. The engineering firm did change the ditch line a little bit. So instead of purchasing his property all the way up to his deck, which we would have had to buy his deck as well,
Nice.
we are just going to do LTE through that area. So we're going to just do a little bit of dirt work, tie into his lawn, and then restore it. So everything will stay the same. He'll just have a more defined ditch, an easier to mow ditch when it's done.
And he knows this?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. So I probably shouldn't hear much from him anymore.
I don't know about that. I won't guarantee that.
Yes.
And that road is still getting moved the way it was originally discussed.
Correct. Yep. No, it'll be a 45-mile-an-hour curve going around that bend
And when will that be?
next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so at this point right now, we're just kind of, we're starting on the purchasing of the property, so now we're having they did a real estate study, so basically what the property's worth. So even on the LTE, so we will pay the landowner a little bit to disturb his property and fix it.
Is that Franzen? No.
It's the inside corner, yeah.
Yeah, it's I know Franzen owns, but does he own up to the corner?
Yes,
He does. Okay.
yeah, he owns all the way up to the corner.
Okay.
Is he or does his mom?
I don't know.
Oh, Mom, I bet you're right. Yeah, look at that one.
So on the fleet and facilities side, so the new boom mower tractor is in service. It came in, had a wheel leak, wheel seal that was out right away and had to go back up, get fixed, but came back. And the guys are absolutely loving it. It's twice as fast as the old one was. And just the operation of it,
What's the reach in that?
25 foot. Yeah.
From the center of the machine.
Yeah. So, and I know there was, they wanted something a little bit bigger, the 30 foot. The tractor the tractor size would have to get a lot bigger, and the price difference was quite a bit for extra 5 foot. And the other thing, when you start reaching what they can reach too far, is now you're starting to cut on people's property, and then you get into yeah, and it's like we'll just stay at the 25 foot and just stay out of trouble. So
Can you talk about, so our mowing operation, I had a question from it was a different committee, but so when you're out mowing, what's the procedure like? Do both of them get a follow truck? Do only the old, because the question was the old mower had a following truck saying, they're mowing ahead or whatever, don't run into me. But the new mower they saw out and didn't have that. Is that normal, or was that just the moment?
So on the state, it's not mandatory to have the crash truck behind the mower, but if we have on the state, so like especially on 13 and 8, we try to do that because it's protecting our employees. It's the safety of our employees. We put signage up, but like on the county, we don't have a crash truck following.
We don't have
Okay.
enough employees.
Right. Yeah.
It'd be twice as expensive.
Yeah.
Right. And it's easier on the state because the state's paying the bill. But yeah, you don't have the traffic. So like when he was boom mowing the causeway, there we have flaggers set out because it's so narrow. We do in the narrow areas, we do have traffic control. If he's working in narrow areas. See else in buildings. So the rock shop, the door, the big overhead door there, needs to be replaced. The spring broke up there, so that'll hopefully be changed here the next month or so. But Dan got quotes on that. Other than that, in the shop, it's general maintenance and doing repairs, trying to keep up on everything in the shop between our stuff, squad cars, and the forestry. So they're staying plenty busy.
Sounds good. Number 10, vouchers. I only have one question. I see we got Peterson for materials, which is 87,000.
Yes,
Peterson. Is that all the gravel for down south?
correct. So that was all the material that we put on for base course on County D, RR, and C. So the material for County Highway M came from Granberg's.
Okay.
The Shimmick
Okay.
pit up there.
That's what I thought that stuff was, but I just wanted to
I have
double check.
one question. ATV signs. The club doesn't pay for those.
They
just
do.
saw a bill.
Right. So we purchased the signs. We purchased the signs for the route out here on 13, which we're
Oh,
But-
but they're inspections today. Yeah, that's right. Josh
So-
said that yesterday.
So when we when we put
I
up
thought
the
I hit
signs
something when I
at the
set the
end,
papers
we
down
will
up there. I'm
send,
like, geez.
they will pay for the bill then. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we purchase the signs because we get them to our standards and then we put them up to our standards and then we bill.
Okay.
Then we bill 'em
There was a
after.
question.
Yep.
Shirley, were you ready? Were you really ready for that drill?
No.
Grab your, I know, grab your class
Stop,
list.
drop and roll, right?
I
Yep.
think it was meant to be a drill. I think it was just,
Yeah,
A test.
well, an accident.
Okay, what's your,
but
what's
the
your
teachers
pleasure?
and us were ready to go.
What's your pleasure with the vouchers?
I'll make a
make-
motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any other discussion on them? All's in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Next meeting is September 3rd.
September 3rd.
If we have nothing else, motion to adjourn.
All right.
That's because